Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schultz and welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you my recipe and procedure for preparing a Cantonese classic, Chow Fun. Beef Chow Fun is a very simple dish to make, very few ingredients, tons of flavor, and it really is a go-to dish here at our house. So join me now as I show you how I prepare this amazing meal. Well, at this time, I'd like to say thank you very much to all of my subscribers. Your support really means a lot and is greatly appreciated. If you're just a first-time visitor, welcome. And if you've been here before and not yet done so, please subscribe and hit the like button and your notification bell. Be up to date with all of our latest posts. Let's get cooking. Well, to begin, we want to marinate our beef. And part of that marination is also tenderizing it. So what I will take is cornstarch and baking soda and go ahead and get that on our meat. Gently mix it around. The baking soda is optional, but I recommend it simply because baking soda acts as a tenderizer for the meat. And because this meat is very lean, it tends to be tough. So any type of help you can get with tenderization, by all means, you take it. Now I will add soy sauce and sesame oil. Feel free to use low sodium soy if you like. Let's go ahead and mix this around. We will then set this in the refrigerator and allow it to marinate for about an hour. Now I like to prepare my pasta. I prefer using a fresh rice pasta. And when you get the fresh, sometimes they stick together like this. You sometimes can get lucky and peel it apart, but I'm going to show you another trick in the event that they are, stuck together really tight. So what we want to do is we want to cut them lengthwise into roughly 1-inch strips. And some of these I could peel apart, which is great, makes life a little easier. Well, here you go. These noodles came apart very nicely. Some of these are going to stick together and you're going to end up breaking them. So what I recommend doing then, rather than trying to force them apart, we're going to take these and put them into some simmering water and allow that hot water to separate the noodles. Well, here we are. I have my water at a simmer. Now I will turn the heat off. And then go ahead and gently add our noodles to the water. We only want this to kind of poach in here for about maybe 15-20 seconds. We're not looking to cook the pasta, we're just looking to separate them. And look at this, how nice the noodles separated for you. You could use dry rice noodles for this dish. I'll be honest with you, I've never done it, but, if you can't source the fresh, by all means use the dry. Now that they're all separated, let's go ahead and put them in a bowl and set off to the side, and we will work on our sauce. To make our sauce, I will start with some chili peppers, because I really like it somewhat spicy, and garlic. Let's go ahead and add regular soy sauce. Start whisking a little bit. Add dark soy sauce. Sesame oil. White or black sesame oil, doesn't really matter. I will now add Chinese rice wine. If you don't have the Chinese rice wine, you can substitute it with sherry wine. It'll actually work just about the same. And now we'll add some sugar. Go ahead and whisk until everything is incorporated and the sugar is dissolved. And we will set this off to the side. And when the meat is done marinating, we're ready to cook. Well, the first thing is to get your wok nice and hot. We're gonna have our burner going on it until you see it begin to smoke. A little bit of information about wok burners. People ask me, Chef, do I need a wok when I'm cooking Asian food? I think if you don't have a wok burner, then don't bother having a wok. You know, it really, if you don't have the available heat source or proper heat source, the wok is not really going to perform as it's supposed to. For example, your gas range in your home, the burners run anywhere from 5 to 20,000 BTU. That's not a lot of heat when it comes to a wok. A wok, to put it in perspective, a wok burner usually starts around 50,000 BTU and goes up from there. We're talking 200,000-300,000 BTU per burner. That's an awful lot of heat. But what I have here is a high pressure burner. I used to have a one that I used for like turkey deep fryer. However, it was unable to generate the heat. So I went on to a high pressure, and this unit here will pump out 260,000 BTU, which is plenty hot for a wok. A little more about the wok. What you're looking for is this very, very intense heat so you can get what's called wok hay. Wok hay, which translates to breath of the wok. That is the flavor that is developed at this happy spot between caramelization and burning. It'll yield a really nice smoky flavor that can only be achieved by the high heat. So now that we, bear with me, I might have to step off to the side because now the wind is starting to pick up and it's blowing the flame into me. So now that our wok is pretty hot, let's go ahead and add a little bit of oil. And I like to add mine around the sides and let it fall down in. Let's add our beef. All right, now that we have our beef nice and seared, let's go ahead and remove it from the wok. Add your wok back to the fire and get it back up to temperature. Go ahead and add a little more oil. We will now add our garlic and ginger to infuse into the oil. Let's go ahead and add our scallions. So now that the scallions have stir-fried, go ahead and add your noodles. Now that the noodles have cooked a bit, let's go ahead and add our beef back to the wok. Now we will add our sauce. Go ahead and give it a couple quick stirs. Now let's go ahead, finish off with Mung Bean Sprouts. Quick toss, and we're ready for service. And there you have beef Chow Fun. Well, now the ever important cleaning of the wok. So what you want to do is we're going to take any of this leftover scrap, scrape it a little bit. And what I'll do is I always add a little bit of water to it. And that's going to help, you know, kind of loosen up the heavier dirt and food particles. People will also ask me, Chef, should I use soap on it or not? Well, after every use, I would not use soap. Maybe if it's super oily and really needs to clean up, then I would use some soap. But after you've done that, you have to re-season it. So very much like cast iron, you operate the wok the same way when it comes to maintenance and cleaning. But now that I got the heavy stuff off, what I'll do is I add more water and turn the heat down a little lower so I can just keep the wok pretty warm. Doesn't have to be massive hot. And then I will use a bamboo brush and then go ahead and start scratching or scrubbing it and getting off the rest of the stuff. Now that I have it scrubbed out and rinsed, let's go ahead and take a paper towel and go ahead and wipe up any excess liquid. and any particles that might still be there. I will now add the wok back to the fire. And using a paper towel, let's go ahead and add a little oil to it. Go ahead and wipe this into the middle in a circular motion. Be certain to hit all of it. Now I will take my dry side of the paper towel and go ahead and wipe back through. Start to pick up any of the residual. I will allow it to sit here for maybe a minute or so. What you're trying to do is be certain that all the liquid, water preferably, has all been evaporated. Therefore, you don't get any rust. Same principles with cast iron. The carbon steel and cast iron can be seasoned in the same manner. So we'll give this about a minute or so, and then after that we will remove it and allow it in a safe space to cool down. Well, there you have Chow Fun. Very easy to make, and it actually is kind of fun to make. It's always fun playing with nice hot pans and fire. So feel free to modify it as you like. You know, do a Chow Fun with chicken, pork, shrimp, even vegetarian. If you do vegetarian and use something like broccoli or even carrot, I recommend blanching them and then shocking in ice water prior to the stir fry. What happens is if you put the raw product in, especially with broccoli, a lot of water as it's cooking will extrude from the vegetable. And even if you make a really nice sauce and as it's and glossy and glazing your dish, it ends up bleeding all over the place simply because of that excess water from the vegetable. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Little excitement with the flame up on the adding of the beef, but you know, one more thing to do is also exercise caution anytime you're playing with fire. So thank you for joining. Feel free to leave some comments and questions below. Yo, Fayette.